In the beginning, there was chaos, an endless void where the formless drifted aimlessly for eternity. Within chaos's shadowy depths, the first stirrings of awareness emerged, though what stirred was impossible to say. Like thoughts forming in a dreaming mind, concepts gradually began to crystallize out of the formless morass. Space and time coalesced, bringing separation and duration. Mass and energy swirled, bringing substance and change. Out of this first differentiation, distinct entities began to take shape, entities that would come to be known as the Primordials. First came Gaea, the Earth herself, a planetoid mass that brought gravity, topography, and the first sensations of up and down, inside and outside. On her fertile soils, the first basic life would emerge. Then came Ouranos, a great swirling celestial shape that stretched endlessly above Gaea, bringing the concepts of height and the heavens. Ouranos' star-speckled surface would one day illuminate and track the passage of days. From the eternal darkness emerged Erebus, a smothering shadow that draped itself over all. But where Erebus touched Gaia's skin, lights began to flicker, the earliest crustaceans and plankton arising through some spark of chemistry. Erebus looked upon these early creations with curiosity. Beside Erebus emerged Nyx, born of darkness, yet taking a feminine form. She brought the cycle of day and night, her veil of shadow stirring the newborn life forms with subtle sensations of time. Finding companionship, Erebus and Nyx emanated more distinct concepts. Erebus's son Hypnos formed as a personification of sleep, encouraging all entities to periodically rest their awareness. Nyx in turn birthed many more Ovi children who would shape the destiny of this emerging world, their membership including Nemesis, Moros, Thanatos, and others whose natures were as yet unknown. Meanwhile, the churning oceans had taken shape as the entity now called Pontus, endlessly circling Gaea below Ouranos' heavens. Yet Pontus's waves also lapped at more abstract shores, for he reflected the endless cycles and changes permeating all things. His eldest child would be Kronos, Father Time. Together, these first great entities, Gaea, Ouranos, Erebus, Nyx, Pontus, and their growing entourages, shaped the basics of a new cosmos forming within chaos. Their interactions gave rise to more concrete concepts, from them emerging Aurea, the first jagged mountains, and Ether, the rarefied atmosphere between Ouranos and Gaea. As the Primordials refined creation, the angels watched with interest from beyond. For though the angels had always existed in some form or another, they observed now with newfound sentience, as the unfolding cosmos stimulated their own awakening. Foremost among the angels was Gabriel, Archangel of Communication. Gabriel sought to know all others and bring understanding between disparate forces. Seeing promise in the newborn universe, Gabriel set about befriending its rulers that peace might emerge. Others had different reactions. Michael the warrior was wary of unknown powers that could endanger the harmony Gabriel pursued. The healer Raphael hoped life's throes might yield remedies for deeper ills. Uriel hoarded mysteries to share at the right time. Through them, perceptions of purpose, protection, and process expanded among the angelic choirs observing below. In time, the Primordials' collaborations had enriched the material realms almost beyond recognizing. Oceans teemed, mountains pierced the skies, and above it all, Erebus's veil of night parted each dawn to Ouranos' bright illumination. Yet more structure was required for the dimensions to cohere. Consulting as equals, the Primordials decided some should embody roles to shape the teeming reality below. Ouranos would remain as sky, Pontus as seas, Gaea as the enduring earth, and Erebus and Nyx would hold sway in darkness's demescence evermore. The others accepted new mantles with grace. Aurea became the mountain's stoic form. Ether became the light-filled space between realms. Yet the choice fell to Kronos, who took up the grim responsibility of time's passage. ensuring all things must change. Pleased, the first gods went forth to bring more vivid life to their charges. Ouranos mated with Gaea, and from their union sprang the first titans, Koios, Krios, Hyperion, Iapetos, Thea, Rhea, Themis, Mnemosyne, and others. Mighty beings, yet servants of greater powers, they would establish the next age's order under their elders' guidance. Yet not all shared the Primordials' perspectives. Within Tartarus's murky depths, a nameless being had taken form, observing all with envy and spite. This entity craved the worship all others received, yet knew its monstrous shape could never be accepted. Consuming hatred festered, awaiting an opportunity for vengeance. Generation after generation of titans followed, populating the earth and heavens with their offspring. Nymphs, cyclopes, and hundred-handed giants came into being. Civilization blossomed. The angels looked on and conversed, Gabriel encouraging creative pursuits while Michael watched for corruption, and Uriel pondered mysteries' lessons. Still, the nameless god of Tartarus brooded endlessly in the abyss, gaining strength from all the negativity it absorbed. When at last it saw its chance, no mercy was shown. Rising from the pit with a terrible cry, the demon assaulted Mount Othrys's peak where Kronos ruled. A mighty battle was fought across the heavens, as Kronos and the firstborn gods attempted to subdue the embodiment of their creator's own sinister shadow. But its power was formidable, having festered in the dark for arcs of time untold. In the end, a Pyrrhic victory was achieved only by the gods joining forces and casting the defeated demon back into the lowest pits of Tartarus forevermore. Yet in the process, great wounds had been opened. Ouranos was gravely injured, and where his blood fell to Gaea's soils, it took root in strange new forms. From these bloodied grounds crawled forth Typhon, last and mightiest child of Tartarian shadows. Even the united gods quailed at this new horror's strength, and only through clever trickery and sacrifice did Zeus finally hurl the beast into the awful-choked pits where it was chained, still beating. The damage, however, was done. A new age must now be ushered in to restore the cosmic order. Kronos and his generation of rulers had grown too complacent in their power. Though they loved their children, it was decided for the greater good that a new pantheon must ascend to actively safeguard the realms from further calamity. Consulting on Mount Olympus, the assembled gods chose Zeus, youngest but most daring of Kronos' sons, to assume his father's throne and lead the gods in the coming age. A great war was fought as Zeus masterminded the Titans' downfall, hurling his relations into the pits of Tartarus with resistless thunderbolts. From that day forth, Zeus, flanked by his siblings Hera, Poseidon, Hades, and later generations, established their eternal seats on high Olympus as lords of the sky. The new gods took up roles matching their natures, Zeus as king of heaven and earth, Hera as his queen and divine matriarch, boisterous Poseidon claiming the seas, and somber Hades accepting dominion over the dead below. Others emerged like fair Aphrodite born of sea foam, or warlike Ares craving combat's adrenaline, Hephaestus at the forge, and all the myriad forms divine purpose might take. Law and civilization came to the lands under their benevolent yet stern watch. Yet darkness's echo remained in one last survive, Typhon's great mate Echidna, half woman and half serpent, who crawled still in some forgotten cavern, nursing a litter of chimerical broods. From these last remnants of Tartarin might emerge a new race of monsters to plague mortals in the coming ages. Through it all, the angels looked on, advising when called and ever learning. Gabriel spoke to all factions, brokering understanding. Michael trained heroes to combat worldly evils. Raphael nourished life in all its forms. And as eras passed and dynasties rose and fell on the continents below, the eternal watchers remained, observing and ensuring, through turmoil or tranquility, that the song of creation might play on.